Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas G. Now, a Norwegian journalist tried to turn Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Oslo visit into a global democracy trial, and India has decided to answer back assertively. Norwegian journalist Helle Lyng asked India, why should the world trust you? Before we move forward, first take a look at the exact sequence of what transpired.
Prime Minister Modi, why don't you take some questions from the freest press in the world? Prime Minister Modi, why don't you take some questions from the freest press in the world?
Now, after this, India did not duck the question. The man who answered is one of India's most senior career diplomats. He's the MEA Secretary West, CB George. Inside a tense media briefing in Oslo, CB George delivered what many are now calling India's strongest diplomatic pushback against Western moral framing. The questions from the Norwegian journalist were about press freedom and human rights. CB George pushed back point by point. He defended India's constitutional framework, and then came the line that has set the tone. The senior diplomat said that many people form opinions about India after reading one or two news reports published by some godforsaken ignorant NGOs. Watch what happened.
Some of you are from Indian media. You know how many stories appear. We have how many breaking news coming every day in the evening. At least 200 TV channels in Delhi alone, in English language, in Hindi language, and multiple language. People have no understanding of the scale of India. People have no understanding. They read, one or two news reports published by some godforsaken, ignorant NGOs, and then come and ask questions. Don't worry about it. We are proud to be a democracy. We are a democracy. We hear a lot of people asking questions about why this, why that. But let me tell you this. We are 1/6 of the total population of the world, but not 1/6 of the problems of the world. We have a constitution which guarantees the rights of the people, fundamental rights of the people. India had epics and books. Let me answer the question. Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. You ask me a question, please. This is my press conference. You ask, why should a country trust India? Why should a country trust India? Let me answer that question, please. Let me come back to the COVID which I mentioned. The whole world had suffered from COVID. What did we do? We didn't hide in the cave. We didn't say that we don't help the world. We came out, offering helping hand to the world. That brings trust.
But even as the MEA's response began resonating across India, the Oslo flashpoint quickly escalated into a full-blown political war back home. Opposition projected the viral video as a global embarrassment for PM Modi, with Rahul Gandhi claiming the Prime Minister was running away from questions. TMC's Merwa Moitra thanked the Norwegian journalist for doing what Indian media fails to do. On the other hand, BJP leaders pointed out that even the Norwegian Prime Minister did not take questions at the joint event and asked why only India was being singled out.
Our Prime Ministers, whether it was Dr. Manmohan Singh, whether it was Mr. Narasimha Rao or Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, had a system of interacting with the media at home and also abroad, and very open interaction with questions were not being fixed in advance, they were not prefixed. So we don't understand this tradition. 12 years the Prime Minister has not addressed a single press conference at home, forget abroad.
I'm a votary of free press. I'm a votary of the fact that the Prime Minister or anybody in responsible position is answerable to the people and the world. You can't hold these positions without being answerable. But as far as our Prime Minister is concerned, Mr. Modi, he's never answered questions. He's never answered them nationally or internationally.
I used to hear, stupidity has no limits. Murkhta ki koi seema nahi hoti. That applies to Mr. Rahul Gandhi very clearly. I mean, a stupid journalist asking question after the joint declaration without following the protocols. And then she tweets that the Prime Minister does not answer, and he repeats that. It clearly shows it's a toolkit. Because Mr. Rahul Gandhi has never been to a joint declaration and official participation. So he doesn't know the protocols. इस आदमी को समझना ही नहीं है, क्योंकि बुद्धि नहीं है, बैल बुद्धि है, और इसके चक्कर में इन्होंने पूरे भारत की मीडिया को बदनाम कर दिया कि हमारे प्रेस फ्रीडम इंडेक्स नहीं है. Shame on you.
To understand why this exchange has triggered such a massive reaction in India, you also have to understand who Helle Lyng Svensson, I beg your pardon, is. Now, she's not a random reporter asking a casual question. She's a political commentator with a distinct ideological positioning. What really is the background of this particular individual? Let's take a look. She's a Norwegian commentator and writer and is currently with Dag Savisen, a former US correspondent known for sharp political commentary as well. She is known to be very critical of Donald Trump and right-wing politics. She has also in the past been accused of pushing a pro-China view. Viewers, the big question, despite the fact that MEA invited the same journalist, her each and every question was answered. Was this a legitimate question on press freedom or an attempt to reduce the world's largest democracy into a viral Western moment? Let's quickly open this up and take it across to our guests. With us is Arushi Sara, political analyst. We have R. Rajgopal, senior journalist. Akashdeep Bunni is a political analyst joining us. Dr. Pooja Mishra is national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Let me start first and foremost with Dr. Pooja Mishra. Dr. Pooja Mishra, now certainly journalists have questions. We ask the questions at press conferences. There's no two ways about it. But the manner in which this person is, putting forth these questions, walking out of a press conference and then coming back in, many are saying that this is more towards the side of activism than actual journalism. If she has asked a question, she should have the patience to listen to an answer. Dr. Pooja Mishra.
So she asked the question and she didn't have patience to listen the answer. The Prime Minister left the venue and the host Prime Minister came back and he faced the media, but our Prime Minister left the venue. And you are saying, or the people critics are saying that she should have the patience to listen the answer. Our Prime Minister didn't answer her. We wanted at that time our Prime Minister could have answered her and could have come back like, okay, if our first Prime Minister is going for...
Pooja, may I ask you a simple question? May I assume that your party's leader, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, attends a press conference. If a journalist does not ask a question and he doesn't answer, should the journalist walk out in protest? Is that how a press conference is normally conducted? I'm asking you a basic question.
The journalist didn't walk out.
She did, ma'am. She walked out of the MEA briefing. You're not aware of the full facts of the story. She walked out of the Minister of External Affairs briefing.
Prime Minister left the venue. She has posted the videos as well.
She has posted a video of her asking the question to the Prime Minister, and for her information, even a Norwegian Prime Minister does not answer questions.
Why our Prime Minister didn't answer? He could have shut her down by answering question.
Ma'am, why did one second. During official visits, ma'am, it is decided where leaders, if they choose to speak, they speak. But there is no compulsion on any leader to speak, when they are walking past in a corridor. The same logic the BJP is putting forth. The BJP is saying, why did the Norwegian Prime Minister not speak?
But on that platform, you were representing India. Our Prime Minister could have shut that journalist down and we would have been appreciating him.
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Rajgopal. Mr. Rajgopal, the Prime Minister should have responded to that journalist, and therefore, if he had done so, we would have all been very proud of him. Now, the question is this, that yes, sometimes leaders do stop and speak to media persons in corridors, etc. But does that mean that this is a reflection on how freedom of speech in this country, freedom of expression in this country is practiced? Please respond to the Samajwadi Party spokesperson.
Samajwadi Party spokesperson should understand, whenever Prime Minister goes abroad, there are certain protocols. I accompanied Prime Minister at least 15 to 20 times, total 35 countries I visited with the President, Prime Minister and others. The protocol is different, and Norwegian, the host country should also be allowing that. There are indications, if it is a treaty, there is no press conference. If it is a one-to-one bilateral, multilateral, the press conferences are held. My only point is, it is George Soros toolkit operations. They want to defame India. And the journalist who asked the questions, I Googled about her also. There are many negative reports about them. A simple question to Samajwadi Party spokesperson. Whenever Mr. Akhilesh Yadav addresses a press conference, if a discomfort question was posed, he is asking the name. Suppose if he says, I'm Mishra. Oh, pata lag gaya, pata aap pandit hai. In Muslim ko virod hai. Why should Mr. Akhilesh Yadav get perturbed? He's another Rahul Gandhi, because Rahul Gandhi, whenever he holds a press conference, whenever he has a press conference, oh, sorry, he did not answer any question.
Okay, let's not make comments which are relevant to our panelists, but your larger question is there, and let me bring that question. In fact, okay, Pooja Mishra wants to respond to. Yes, Pooja Mishra.
The political analyst before me, he was talking about Joe Serres are indulged into defaming India, and our Prime Minister helped them. They are indulged into defaming. They planted a journalist, and our Prime Minister just walked out, didn't answer her question, and helped him, and helped Joe Soros. And again, he was talking about our Rashtriya Adhyaksh Akhilesh Yadav Ji. Our Rashtriya Adhyaksh Akhilesh Yadav Ji is the only leader who faces media trials, media question, media conferences more than any leaders in India. More than any leaders in India. He answers every question raised by media. Even if you ask him
Ma'am, he may answer questions, but he has also been very combative with journalists also. He has also raised questions about journalists, and when a tough question is asked, he has said you belong to such and such political party. That has also happened. That is not intimidation.
But he answers, he never walks out.
You are a BJP agent.
He never walks out.
That is also intimidation.
I don't welcome any question.
No, that's the question. That's the question that many would ask, that if somebody is truly believing to be a Democrat, or even if you are asking the caste of a particular individual, that certainly also is not the best way to deal with a journalist. But let me bring in other panelists as well. Arushi Sana, how do you respond to Dr. Pooja Mishra's charge as he says, Akhilesh Yadav always answers questions of journalists? That's a picture in stark contrast to the Prime Minister, and we've seen opposition come out to say, why does the Prime Minister address press conferences, for instance? This is a sign of not listening to media. These are the kind of words coming in from various opposition parties. Please answer that.
First of all, I think to answer what ma'am has said, people have very different leadership styles. You cannot compare the leadership style or execution of a chief minister of a state to the prime minister of a country, number one. Number two, coming back to what's actually happened, I think that we are forgetting the context of what has happened in Netherlands, and that is that the journalist who tried to ask these questions, she had a context and an undercurrent of trying to question the rights of minorities living in India, which is something that our MEA secretary also took up later in the press conference, and he answered it well. So, sometimes when the questions itself are not backed by facts or by data and are backed by prejudice, there is always more dignity. This is what I feel, that there is always more dignity in not submitting to questions that are anyway not backed by data or facts and are coming at you with an intention to already undermine the kind of human rights that you have in the country, which is anyway false. When they were speaking about the Muslim and Christian minorities here in the country, and by the way, Muslims aren't even a minority anymore, they're the second largest majority, which is fine, well and good. It's just that their propaganda and narrative building has to stop, because eventually, and when you look at the way the opposition has been making remarks now, this should not be coming from a man like Rahul Gandhi, who is gone on record to talk about Alu and Sona and has made the most factless comment on national media.
Doctored video.
Dr. Mishra, please don't interrupt me.
To spread false narratives.
Okay. Let her make a point.
The kind of
Ma'am, you have spoken. Now let others come in. There's one panelist who's not even started speaking, Dr. Muni. Please allow Arushi to finish her point.
And most importantly, the people who are questioning the freedom of press in this country should go back and look at the headlines that have been published from 2014 onwards till today that have attacked Narendra Modi's background, that have spoken about the Prime Minister like he's not a Prime Minister, like they have attacked they've attacked not just him as a person, but also the chair that he's sitting on. They have called out terrorists as headmasters' sons. These kind of things would not have been
all right. Now let me bring in Dr. Akashdeep Muni, please. Dr. Akashdeep Muni, some of the points, I'm sure you've also seen the press conference that Mr. C.B. George was answering. He says we have hundreds of channels, newspapers, media which are critical of the government. Where is the question of freedom of speech or expression being curtailed in India, therefore, is a question that the government has put out in answer to that entire question that came in from the journalist there. Your response to that, Dr. Muni?
Madhavji, it is not about one question, but it is about public unscripted press conferences by Honorable Prime Minister Modi. Vajpayee ji as Prime Minister had held 55 press conferences during his tenure. He conducted interactions both domestically and abroad. Unfortunately, PM Modi has held 0 unscripted solo press conferences in India over the last 12 years as Prime Minister. Interestingly, as Chief Minister, Narendra Modi did conduct many press conferences. Why not as Prime Minister? And for democratic accountability, as we know, any PM should answer independent questions rather than doing just scripted interviews with journalists. In 2013, Modi ji said that who does not answer media questions are arrogant. Today, while he is not answering to media any unscripted questions, has he become arrogant? I'll let the viewers to decide. But I request the Honorable Prime Minister to give at least one press conference in the last
Okay,
2
Mr.
years.
Rajgopalan, unscripted press conferences versus scripted interviews. That's the charge of Dr. Akashdeep Muni. Please respond.
My only thing is this is an era of social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever that. In Instagram style, last week, CNBC ran a story about foreign trips are being banned. Immediately PMO replied, that is news. That is what the Indian media also does it, sometimes negative. Similarly, agents of Congress in other countries are also putting this type of awkward questions. My only simple understanding is, why did not Rahul Gandhi answer about the vote chori? Today they are in Kerala as a victorious party. Why he is not raising it? He held a march between Patna and other areas in Bihar against the vote chori. What happened? Even when he did a press conference, he threatened the election commissioner. What happened to that? Therefore, my understanding of Congress is they do not know about the press freedom because they brought emergency. They blacked out the Lok Sabha TV during the debate on Telangana and Andhra bifurcation. Therefore, they cannot teach us, And simply, what happened? Even announcing the Kerala Chief Minister, they did not take question. It's only an announcement. So therefore, there are a lot of press conferences. I still blame Mr. Akhilesh Yadav should not ask the community religion of a press conference or in the press conference of a correspondent. This Mr. Akhilesh Yadav should stop it.
Okay, but before Akhilesh Yadav, this is the same thing that Rahul Gandhi has also done during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Dr. Muni, would you like to respond to that? Is that not intimidation of media then?
See, Madhavji, I just want to request Rajagopalanji, who is a senior journalist. He has been in a number of governments. Tell me one prime minister in this independent country who did not had press conferences. Tell me one.
I will answer.
He wants to answer.
Who are you to compel him? He does not want. He does Man Ki Baat. He tweets. He does everything. He has a public relation. Why should he have a press conference? What is that? Did M.K. Stalin held a
because of unscripted interviews.
Press conference. One press conference.
Rajagopalanji, don't you want to ask
Rajagopalanji,
don't you want to ask questions to your Prime Minister? As a journalist, don't you want to ask questions to your Prime Minister? It's a democracy. It's a democracy, sir. It's not autocratic rule. In North Korea, they don't answer questions to Kim Jong-un.
Democracy.
Yeah.
It is the democracy of George Soros.
Leave aside George Soros. Don't be obsessed with George Soros. As a journalist, don't you want to answer questions? Ask questions to your Prime Minister. कि भाई आज ये कदम क्यों उठाया Prime Minister ने? आप ये नहीं पूछना चाहते? अरे आप does he answer all the tweets? No. Journalists have the right to ask questions. This is the foundation of democracy, sir.
Mad at him and you want to explain the explanation from the Prime Minister. What is that, Akash?
Okay. Let me come in now. Dr. Pooja Mishra wants to respond. Yes, Dr. Pooja Mishra.
Rajagopalan ji is saying that Pradhan Mantri does the Man Ki Baat, but the problem is that the nation people wants to convey their Man Ki Baat to Pradhan Mantri ji, and that can be done only. Don't you want to ask question, Madhav ji? You also want to question our Prime Minister. One-to-one, you want to ask some questions you must be having. But our Prime Minister is not ready to take those questions. And our Rajagopalan is saying that he is doing right thing. He just talks one-sided.
So, Akashdeep Muni, you should be careful what you wish for. There's actually a press conference, joint press conference of the Prime Ministers happening in Norway. Let's cut across live to that.